Good morning, students. I'm Munazza Basu, your teacher for the day. And today, I'm going to take up the 5th chapter of your business studies, that is organizing. As you have studied about the term management, which means the process of getting the things done through others. When it is a process, it includes number of functions. And you have already studied about one function, that is planning. And the next function of the management is organizing. Now, what is the meaning of this term, organizing? Organizing refers to the process of arranging human and non-human resources, then establishing a relation between them for the attainment of organizational goals. So it is a process that initiates implementation of plans by clarifying the jobs, establishing relation between them for the attainment of the organizational objectives. The basic purpose of this organizing is to make people work together in order to achieve organizational goal. Now, there are a number of steps involved in the organizing. As it is a process, so it includes number of steps. And the first step of organizing is identifying and dividing the work. The first step of organizing is to identify the activities of the organization and then divide these activities into small units. Because division of work is important. A single person cannot do all the tasks of the organization individually. So division of work becomes necessary. It also facilitates specialization of work and efforts. So the first step is to identify and divide the work. Then is creating departments. Creating departments, the activities which are of similar nature are grouped under different heads called departments. So this process is known as departmentation. And departmentation can be done on the basis of certain criteria like territory, north, south, east, west, on the basis of the products, appliances, cosmetics, clothes, footwear, and many more. And the third step is assigning duties. So then the step of organizing is to assign the duties to each individual and the work groups. While assigning the duties, the manager should keep in mind the qualification, the abilities, the skills of each individual. Care should be taken that there should be no duplication or overlapping of work. So this was the third point of organizing. Then coming on to the last step of organizing, that is establishing relationships. Merely assigning the duties is not enough. Then we have to, every individual have to know from whom he has to take orders and who is accountable to whom. So this gives a clear hierarchical structure in which one can know about the superior-subordinate relationship. So this was about the steps of organizing. So coming on to the next subtopic, that is importance of organizing. What makes organizing so important for an organization? The first step is benefits to specialization. As organization is the process of dividing the subdividing the task into small activities or small and convenient jobs. And each person is assigned a particular task. So this process leads to specialization because a person can be specialized in a particular activity when he will perform this activity again and again. Then coming on to next, there is clear definition of working relation. Organizing gives a clear hierarchical structure in which we can identify the superior-subordinate relationship of any organization. third point of importance of organizing is optimum utilization of resources. Organizing helps in the optimum utilization of resources with the division of work, with assigning the duties to each individual, because there will be no duplication of activities, there will be no overlapping of activities. Particular work is assigned to a particular person, so there will be the maximum use of human efforts and there will be minimum wastage. Coming on to the next point, that is effective administration. As organizing helps in assigning the activities to each individual, there will be no duplication, no confusion. So it becomes easy for the administration or management to operate and control the activities of the business enterprise. Then adaptation to change. As organizing gives an organizational structure or a framework within which the individuals work. And it becomes easy for this framework or structure to adapt the changes in the business environment, because a change can be adapted in the particular department wherever it is required without disturbing the other departments. Then is well-designed jobs. It gives a clear definition or clear relationship of jobs. Then is last, growth and diversification. Organizing helps in the growth and the diversification of any organization, because sound organization already operates and controls the existing activities, so it becomes easy for them to add on more activities. So this was about the importance of organizing. Coming on to the next subtopic, that is organization structure. So what is the meaning of this term, organization structure? Organizing structure is the outcome or the result of organizing process. Organizational structure can be developed on the basis of functions being performed by the organization or on the basis of the products being produced by the organization. It gives a formal structure of organization. So there are different types of this organizational structure. The first type is functional structure. Functional structure, in this structure, the organization is developed on the basis of the important functions being performed by the organization. That is purchasing, sales, finance, human resource. So here, the organization, in this diagram, it depicts the functional structure, wherein there is a one coordinating head, that is Chief Executive Officer. He controls and supervises the activities of each department. And each department specializes in its own particular task. For example, purchasing department is specialized in purchasing activities. Sales department is specialized in sales activities. And in the same way, financing department is specialized in financial activities. So what are the advantages of this functional structure? It gives benefits of specialization. As organization is divided on the basis of the functions being performed. It is divided into number of departments on the basis of the functions being performed by the organization. And each department is headed by an expert manager. So this department, every department will result in better activities in lesser time. So it will promote specialization in the organization. That is, coordination is established. There will be coordination in every department because the different functions are being performed by different departments. And they are interrelated, interdependent on each other. So the interdepartmental coordination is maintained. Then his managerial efficiency is increased because departmental head at each department is performing the activity again and again. So he will become specialist in that particular activity. For example, the finance manager is performing the finance activities again and again. So he will become specialist and his managerial efficiency will get increased. Then is minimal duplication of efforts. With this functional structure, there will be minimum duplication of efforts because each function is performed by each department. That is, purchasing activities are being performed by the purchasing department, sales activities are being performed by the sales department. So there is no need of creating more and more departments for these functions. So there will be no duplication of human efforts and there will be no duplication or wastage of resources as well. Then training is facilitated. This functional structure also facilitates training of the employees for a limited range of skills. For example, in finance department, the employees will be given training for the financial issues only. Then is equal weightage to all the functions. In functional structure, equal weightage will be given to all the activities, to all the functions. So this was about the advantages of functional structure. Then coming on to the next, that is, what are the disadvantages? When it has advantages, it will have some disadvantages as well. And the first disadvantage is ignorance of organizational objective. Because each departmental head, in each and every departmental head will focus on their departmental objectives only. They will ignore the overall organizational objectives. So, with functional structure, there will be the ignorance of organizational objectives. Next is difficulty in interdepartmental coordination. There will be difficulty in interdepartmental coordination. No doubt, in this structure, there will be coordination within the department, but there will be no coordination between the interdepartments because they are always competing with one another. Then is conflict of interest. Every departmental head wants to be the supreme. And in order to satisfy that ego, they want the maximum resources for their department. So it will lead to conflicts between the departments. Then is hurdle in complete development. Functional structure will be a hurdle in the complete development of employees because they will be specialized only in a small part of the whole job. So this was about the disadvantages of functional structure. Then coming on to the next, that is divisional structure. Another type of organizational structure, that is divisional structure. So here, the activities of the organization are divided on the basis of the product lines being produced by the organization. So in each division, there will be number of departments under them. Let me give you an example. Here this diagram will depict the divisional structure. There will be a managing director at the top. Then the organization is divided on the basis of the product lines, for example, footwear, cosmetics, jewelry. Then under each division, there are separate departments who are performing the job. For example, production, sales, finance, marketing. So in each division, there will be various departments pertaining to their particular task. So what is the advantage of this divisional structure? The first one is development of divisional heads. There is a divisional head in each division and he will perform all the activities connected to his division. For example, production, purchase, sales, finance. So he will become a specialist in all these activities. So there will be overall development of the divisional head. Then its divisional results can be assessed. It becomes easy for the management to assess the divisional results, the profits and the losses of each division, because these divisions are performing their task independently. Then is quick decision making. The divisional head can take decision promptly without any consultation with any other divisional head, because all the activities are performed within his department, purchasing, sales, or finance. So he will take quick action. Then is last, easy explanation. It becomes easy for organization to add on more products, because here in divisional structure, the activities are divided on the basis of product lines. If any organization or company wants to expand, wants to add on more products in the organization, they can simply add one division without disturbing the work of all other divisions. So this was about the advantages of divisional structure. Now coming on to the disadvantages of divisional structure. The first disadvantage is conflict between divisional heads, because every divisional head wants to be supreme. In order to satisfy this ego, he will demand maximum resource for his division. So it will create confusion or conflict between different divisions. Then duplicity of functions. Entire set of functions, for example, purchasing, sales, financing, marketing, are carried out by each division. So there is duplicity of efforts, there is duplicity of resources as well. So it will increase the cost of the organization unnecessarily. Then is selfish attitude. Every division tries to show better performance, even at the cost of the organization, which will be harmful for the overall interest of the organization. So this was about the organizational structure, functional and divisional, then about their advantages and the disadvantages. Then there are other types of organizational structure as well. The first one is formal organization. What is the meaning of this term formal organization? When managers are performing the organization process, the result is an organizational structure. This organizational structure, which gives a clear superior subordinate relationship, which gives a clear picture of jobs assigned to each individuals for the achievement of organizational goal, is known as formal organization. Because this formal organization spells out the job assigned to each individual. It clearly gives the superior subordinate relationship. It clearly shows the authority responsibility relationship. And it clearly shows the position of every individual in the organization. So what are the features of formal organization? The first feature is specialization of authority, because each job is assigned to a particular individual and there is a fixed authority. There will be no duplication, there will be no overlapping. So it will lead to specialization of authority. Then is achievement of organizational goal. The objective or the purpose of this structure, this formal organizational structure, is to achieve the organizational objective. The next one is deliberate creation. It is created deliberately, intentionally by the managers in order to achieve the organizational goal. Then next is emphasis on work. In formal organization, the focus is on work only. There is no focus on interpersonal relationship. There is no focus on the social, psychological needs of the employees. The focus is on work only in order to achieve the organizational objective. So with this, I have completed the features of formal organization. Coming on to the next, that is advantages of formal organization. Accomplishment of organizational objectives, because it is created, this structure is created to achieve organizational objectives. Then there is reduced confusion. When it is created deliberately in order to achieve the organizational objective, and it is created in order to show the superior-subordinate relation, there is a clear definition of jobs. So there will be no confusion, there will be no duplication of work. Then reduced duplication of work. There is a reduced duplication because every person is assigned a particular task. He knows from where he has to take orders. So there will be no ambiguity in the transfer of the instructions. Then it helps in better coordination. This formal structure will help in better coordination because everybody knows, every individual in the organization knows from whom he has to take orders and to whom he is accountable. Fine? So it will help in the better coordination. Then is high stability. It provides stability to the enterprise because we can predict the behavior of the individuals in the organization. Then coming on to the disadvantages, because this formal structure have some disadvantages as well, like delay in action. Because in formal structure, individuals have to follow unity of action. They have to follow the scalar chain for communication. They have to take the orders from the superiors and they are accountable to the superiors. So there is a scalar chain which every individual has to follow. So there will be delay in communication, delay in action. And then it ignores the social needs because here the focus is on work only in order to achieve the organizational goal. It ignores, there is no focus on the social needs, on the psychological needs of the individuals or employees. Emphasis on work. It emphasizes on work only. It focuses on the work only because to achieve the organizational objectives. So this was about the formal organizational structure. So next structure is informal structure, informal organizational structure. This informal organizational structure refers to the network of social relation among the employees of the organization. It emerged spontaneously because of interaction and association with employees. Let me give you an example here. An assistant sales manager, instead of going to his boss for the advice, he will go to the production manager because of friendship. So this relation is informal relation. But this informal relation also exists because of the formal organization. So I will explain here the features of informal organization. It forms spontaneously. It is not a deliberate act. It is not an intended effort of manager. It emerges spontaneously because of interaction, because of association with the employees. Then is molds behavior. In informal organization, the behavior of employees are molded by the norms of the group instead of the official rules. Then it remains complex. Informal organizational structure is complex because there is no defined relation between the employees. It creates spontaneously, so it is quite complex. Then facilitates independent communication channels. This informal organization facilitates independent communication channels because it will not follow any scalar chain for the communication. It will not follow any unity of action, unity of command. Then it originates from formal organization. This informal organization also originates from the formal organization. It creates or it exists because of the formal organization. This was about the features of informal organization. Now coming on to advantages. What is the advantage of this formal organization? First is fast communication. It helps in faster communication because employees are not required to follow any scalar chain or unity of command. So they can freely interact. Then is fulfill social needs. Here the focus is on the social needs, on the psychological needs of the employees. Then is correct feedback. We can get a correct feedback or the real feedback through these informal organizations. So this was about the advantages. Coming on to the next, that is disadvantages of informal structure. Because this informal structure has some disadvantages or limitations as well. First is spread rumors. According to the survey, 70% of the information flowed through this informal organization is a rumor because it is not following any definite path, any scalar chain. So most of the information spread through this informal organization is rumor. There will be no systematic working in the informal organization because there is no superior subordinate relationship. This relationship creates because of interaction, because of friendship, because of association. So there will be no systematic working. Next is may bring negative results. If informal organization will oppose the management, then it becomes difficult for the management to implement any plan or policy. Then is more emphasis on individual interest. Here the emphasis on the individual interest to satisfy or fulfill the social and the psychological needs of the employees. The emphasis is not on the work, just on the social and the psychological needs of the employees. So with this, I have completed the disadvantages of informal organization. So today we have discussed about the meaning of organizing, about the features, the importance, and the organizational structure, functional, divisional, formal, and informal organization. So we'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.